Yo, what's going on? This is Afi Kingdom. Today, we're going to talk about 5 reasons why modern women are single. And I have my special guest today. Let me put you on the screen. Let them know who you are and what it is that you do.
Alrighty, well, I am Allie Drummond at Real Femme Sapien on YouTube and Instagram, and I run a platform to try to get women in touch with things that are going to actually help them with their lives because women aren't getting feedback on how to actionably change their lives. They just get pats on the back by their girlfriends or their family members, or they're just straight up lied to. So I try to work a little bit against that. I do recommend femininity to women, but typically because it gets them what they want, which out of all the complaints that I hear, it seems like they want masculine men, but they aren't able to come to terms with the fact that they're going to have to be feminine in order to get that. So that's what I work on.
Right. You know what I see in the dating space. Because I coach men and women as well. Um, I think that women confuse femininity with submissiveness. So they feel like if they serve you, that's being feminine. They don't understand that feminine is actually an energy. It's not just you giving me my cake, my beer, and my plate. It's a little bit more than that. So, what I want to do today with you is play a little game. Now, this game is simple. We're going to go and name 5 reasons each why we think modern women are single. And then hopefully the women can listen to this and pick up on some tricks. And the
Mm-hmm.
men can get clarity on why they may be having issues. So we're gonna do a shotgun. Let's start. I'm gonna start with the first reason, and then but the key is once you say your reason or I say my reason, we got to come up with another one. So
Okay.
they're gonna get 10 good ones. So I'm gonna say my first. The first reason why I feel like modern women are single, accountability. That's a big one. That's a big one between all my guys. You know, it's a combination between playing victim and always being right. And I feel like in dating, sometimes men just want to hear "I'm sorry," just want to hear I could have did things better. But instead, we get rebuttals all the time. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to pick me up from work at 4 o'clock, and then you come at 4:30. Sometimes a woman won't even acknowledge the fact until I say it. Like, hey, baby, I'm gonna be a little bit late. 4:30 max. Well, what happens is she'll just come pulling up like nothing's wrong, and then I have to say, "Damn, what's up? What happened? Oh, there was traffic." But you knew there was traffic, and you knew that you were gonna be late when you pulled up. You see what I'm saying? What you think about the accountability thing as far as
I think you're right. Women struggle with accountability, not just in the dating market, but even relationships with girlfriends. I swear, every time I just try to be reasonable with a woman about something that I'm a little discontent with in our relationship, they immediately come out their face. Because a lot of the complaints that men have about the modern dating market, it's not modern women, it's pathological women, because that's kind of a pathology if you can't take accountability for anything at all in your life, because that's an external locus of control. Life is happening to you. But recently I had this experience where one of my high school girlfriends, and I thought we were close because every time she was down and out, she was venting to me, taking up my time and my attention. And we know that attention is a resource. So I end up constantly seeing pictures of her half naked. She's got an OnlyFans, which, I that's okay if that's her lane, right? But for me, as someone that knew her in high school, that wasn't content that I wanted to see. I just didn't want to see her in that position. People called me old school, whatever. Contrary to popular belief, we don't want to see you with 3 post-it notes on Instagram. So I told her, hey, I'm not really comfortable following you and having an Instagram relationship. Here's my number. I love you. I think you're a wonderful person. And I'd like to continue to have a relationship just via text message. And she just immediately was saying, you don't know how to use the unfollow button, you don't know how to use the mute button. So women just suck at accountability, because I made a perfectly reasonable thing and then immediately she comes out her face. But that's not the first time, it's not the last time. As tired as men are with modern women, women are tired of them too, I promise you.
That's a good one. So I got mine in. What's one of your reasons why you think just coaching? What are some of the patterns that women are coming up with, or just patterns that you hear about complaints in dating that women are often come up with, or the man too. Like, what are they complaining about? So I got my one in. So this is your one.
Hmm. Well, like you said, men too. So I think the problems do lie on both men and women, but I do think that women have feminized them for several decades. One of the things that I would say is that a lot of women don't have the skills to keep a man, and instead of owning up to that, they would rather just say that they want to be single. It depends if the woman is in denial, because that's something that I've seen a few times. I don't want a man, I don't want a man, I don't want a man, but you can pick up on the vibe. I've had a girlfriend who she's friends with a lot of progressivists, and I can tell that she would like a man to be by her side, but she'll never say anything about it or do the work that it would take to be sociable in order to date. Because a lot of times in the manosphere, you'll hear about these nines of tens and these three or fours. That's amazing. And they exist. But there's this whole other slew of women, and there are quite a few of them that are shy, socially awkward, don't know how to assume autonomy over romance. Like, they don't even think that they can go up to a man and hit on a man. They think that they just have to sit there and look pretty like a flower. So that was one of the things that I've seen, is just these women can't keep a man long term. They might be able to get him in bed, but that honestly seems like the easy part to me.
Yeah. All right, good one. So I'm gonna put out my number two, and I would say is this, and this is all off the dome. I'm not going off no notes. That's the way I like to do it. I'm like Jay-Z. I'm the freestyle, right? So I think that my second reason is because women don't know how to understand the difference between. Because this is piggybacking off of you, like Instagram. They have 100 DMs, so then in their mind, it's I'm so high value, but they don't know how to understand the difference between a man that just wants to sleep with them and a man who actually wants to court. They just ball it up in one thing and look how popular I am, look how valuable I am. But if you really were to go through those messages, you're just getting hey, or you're not getting anything with substance. But they bundle that all together and put their value on that. Look how many likes I got on this. These guys just want to have sex with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's my second reason, is just being able to tell the difference between sexual validation and actually genuine interest.
Mm-hmm.
That's my number two. What you got?
I would agree with you that women don't know how to separate the two. And I want to say the nature of the DMs that you get is going to be largely contributed to by the way you present yourself on social media. My Instagram is pretty clean, pretty kosher. I actually don't get that many simps and DMs in there. Even though I am married, we both know that men oftentimes do not even care if you're married. But even before that, I wasn't really getting hit up in that way in my inbox. So it's probably how the woman is showcasing herself, which, I mean, you're getting validation from strangers on the internet, and you don't even know if these men are who they say they are. So I think it's problematic in itself. And I think it leads a lot of these women to be more depressed than they were before they posted that picture for validation in the moment when they were down and out. Another reason that I think modern women are single would be that they don't have realistic expectations in men. In coaching women, I hear this list, and the list sounds good. It sounds like the ideal husband, but how many men out there are really going to be ideal? We're people, we're not blank slates, although we wish we could be. But you'll hear he's got to be young, wealthy, fit, funny, emotionally intelligent, taller than me. And on the surface, that sounds amazing. But at best, maybe you'll get 3 of those things, because men also experience life and they experience traumas. So that's something that I see happen a lot with women. They don't have realistic idealizations of romance. To me, romance is as simple as making a home cooked meal and watching a movie on Netflix together and cuddling. And I think that's a realistic idea of romance. But you'll see some of these chicks on TikTok, and they're talking about going on a hot air balloon or going horseback riding on a first date. I'm like, girl, why? Like, I'm married. This man ain't taking me horseback riding. So what you talking about?
Right. So that's a good one. Let me go with my third one, and I'm gonna say not seeing the bigger picture. Women want the instant gratification, like I want this now, I want this dinner now. Like I always say, and I find this to be true. If you give your man everything that he wants, he will return and even give you double. But the key nuance is it has to be everything that he actually wants, not what you think he actually wants. You see, you got to know your prey. It's just like me playing a video game. So I got my video game over there. So I have an Xbox and a PlayStation. Yes, they're both two different games, consoles, but they got two controllers. They're not compatible. So I can't play one the way that I'm playing the other. I got to figure out how to play my game. And I think that people don't take enough time to figure out people's language and what actually motivates them. So you may not know this, but I'm a school teacher by day, right? So kids are motivated different. Little Billy right here, I'm gonna have to yell at him to get him to do stuff. But Action Jackson over here, Daquan, he may just want the hugs because he never gets the hugs. I don't have to yell at him to get him to do things. I just give him some validation like this, and he misses that at home. So then that way he performs for me. It's the same thing with relationships. You have to figure out what this person, people are carrying off their last failed relationship skills to new relationships. Oh, my ex, yeah, even though he cheated on me, this is what I did for him. Well, what you do for him, I may not like. So that's what I say. The third one is just knowing the person that you deal with, taking the time out and taking yourself out of it instead of I want this, I want that. If you satisfy the dude, he'll give you what you want because women that are attentive, they don't come around too often. So we super appreciate that. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Yes.
More than dinners and movies and stuff. Like I say, like women, like if you wanna really level up in a man's life, do two things. Take him on a date every now and then, because that's gonna make him feel special. Because men always feel like this their obligated job. Like, no, when you make a man feel special, then he's gonna be like, she's special, she's different. And the second thing is embrace his goals and his dreams. That's gonna make him feel like he has a partner. You know what I mean? Not just like you guys live these two separate lives and you split bills. Like, no, it puts you on a journey towards the right direction. So that's what I say. What you got for number 3?
Oh man, I think my husband would love what you say because he's very much I want this cooked the way I want it, not the way you want to cook it for me. But I would agree with what you just stated. I want for nothing in my marriage, but I think I just fulfill whatever my husband asks of me, and he doesn't ask for anything that's ridiculous. And at this point, it's just second nature, so I just go around doing things. I think we have similar third reasons. I think women who are single, sometimes they want to be single and they're really enjoying that independence. I think that there's a different mindset though, because in my opinion, independence can be lonely. And so I'm very early on in my pregnancy right now, but I felt this sigh of relief and I was thinking about it today. I'm like, thank God it isn't just about me anymore. Thank God that there's something else in this world that's going to be holding me accountable. But a lot of women would freak out about having obligations. And I think that's going to be the same thing with modern men too. You can see that they're also straying away from marriage. Granted, the marriage laws are insane, but we can't change those. But what we can do is encourage masculine frame. That's what we can do. So yeah, these women just think that they're going to have this fabulous time being single. And what I want to see is Cheryl from the nursing home who's been getting her back blown out for a couple of decades coming out and saying how wonderful and fulfilling it's been. But you never see that at all. So that's my perspective on that.
Cool. I'm gonna go with number 4. I'm gonna say being open to change. People expect you to be the same person throughout the whole thing. When I started YouTube, I was a ladies' man and I had a big rotation and I used to do all of these things. And what happened was I started really getting passionate about. I was always in the podcast, listening to people talk, but I didn't have my own platform. And I started off doing the uploads, little 5-10 minute videos, trolling or whatever. And then when I got to the point, because when I started YouTube, we used to have 1,000 subs to do any type of collaboration. So when I worked my way up to that and I started actually doing interviews, I was like, hey, you know what? I like this. I'm able to build strong relationships, find people with similar mindsets, and actually learn from the people that I talk to. And then on top of that, I started writing books. At this time, my first book is Conversation with the Mind. I send you a copy of audio, whatever. I wrote that in July 22nd, 2020. Now, it's not even July 2022. I'm already 25 books into the game. So I really found a passion in writing and not only writing where I get actual feedback, because some people who write books, they don't have the luxury of having an audience first. Writing books was always a passion of mine before I did YouTube. I didn't just come out with a book because I wanted to have a product so people can buy it. It was just a passion. And then when I put out my first two books and they went number one, I put my third one out, they went number one, and I'm getting this feedback from across the world saying, "Hey, this was dope. Hey, that chapter, I got it on my refrigerator." Man, it motivates you, and it gave me a type of validation, just from progress, and not even just from teaching, because it's teaching, you know, small kids. They don't give you that instant gratification. Yeah, 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 you're their favorite because you give them pizza and candy, but they don't really understand the lessons that you're giving them until later. But when you do this, it's instant gratification from men and women all across the world who resonate with my message, and that gave me a different type of validation that I didn't even know that I yearned for. Because my love language is kind gestures and shit like that. So I'm able to get my love language fed to me on demand. I can do what I love and get more of the type of validation that I love. So then once I start getting used to that, women became a burden to me. They became a burden to me, seriously, because I did a monk mode. Shout out to RPC. And he told me you should try this, and I took 60 days off, no women, no sex, and I got so tapped into my hobbies and my passions and my goals that once I got off of it, and then women are like, "Hey, you didn't answer the phone. What we doing this weekend?" And I was like, "Man, I don't like this no more. I'd rather be creating something because I'm a single guy. I don't have any kids." So it just seems like nonsense. On top of that, I coach for a living, so I'm used to getting $250 when it's some bullshit coming on the other end. Not just talk to you for an hour and I'm pissed off and not get no money. So it just changed everything. So you got to be open to change, because I always say, like in my videos, like people grew up with me and they knew me from 5 years ago. They don't actually know me anymore. I'm a totally different person with a totally different mindset. I want to live abroad. I don't care to have kids anymore. I'm openly single. I just like creating. I like sculpting, smoking my tree or whatever, and just kicking back. I'm not the same person who used to like to party, be social, drinking. So you just got to be open for change, because a lot of times you just you met that person. You want them to be this, and you're not accepting that their growth. But by you being that nagging person, you can't grow either. You're spending all your energy trying to make them be what they want, what they were when you met them, or what you think they should be. You don't understand. That's energy. That could be energy used towards you growing yourself or you growing together. You know. So that was a long rant, but this had to be said. You know. So let's go with number
No, it
four.
was
Let's
all
go.
good. It was all good. This was a gem mine. So thank you for dropping all of them. Came out with the pickaxe. I would say the fourth reason for me about why women are single is just that they're straight up selfish. I don't think that it's just women though. I think it's men as well. At the same time, I am sure that if women humbled themselves a little bit, they wouldn't be single. I tell women that the supply is high and the demand is low. There is a lot of single men out there that are interested in relationships with women, but they don't even see them or notice them. And that's just coming down to straight up selfishness, because they're only worried about themselves, which in turn means they're only worried about the career. They're only worried about the bag, which in turn means the man is just going to be a sidekick. He's not going to be a focus, which there's going to be kind of some disagreements with that. People are going to say, well, what if they're equal? I mean, you can be if that's what's going to work in your relationship, but a lot of men are not interested in non-traditional marriage. They want a woman who's going to prioritize them. That's just kind of how it is, because otherwise you end up reducing it to being like, hey, I'm your roommate forever. I'm not going to cook. I'm not going to clean. I'm not going to do anything. We're just going to hang out, and that's it. That's how you kill your romance. You want to have a guy that you genuinely desire, and that's going to require for you to be selfless, not selfish. And that's what I think marriage is about as well. I'm very pro marriage, but at the same time, I'm pro sexy marriage. I want women to have a great time in bed. I just want it to be with their husband.
Right.
I am very clear on my agenda here.
I'm gonna go with my fifth one, and I'm gonna choose this. Is imperative, and these weren't in any order either. Just how I'm thinking about it. I'm a free thinker. I'm gonna say the communication. A lot of women aren't good communicators, And I'll give you an example. You know, we always hear that, women are emotional creatures. This is true. But sometimes, okay, I'm like this, and I think maybe teaching it is a part of why it's my character. I'm about effective communication. You see what I'm saying? If me and you have a talk with each other, I don't want to just talk to you to hear how you feel about what you don't like about me. What's the end goal? You know what I mean? Are we going to meet here, or what? So prime example. So uh, a lot of women, they go into attack mode. So attack mode, yeah, it makes you feel like a hot shot and you big bad mama jama, but you're not getting positive results. So it's like if I say you're hungry and it was my job to cook today or something like that, and maybe I had a stressful day, maybe I got fired and didn't want to tell you. So maybe I didn't got fired from my job. I'm embarrassed about it, and then I come
Mhm.
home, and then you can just be like, "Hey, baby, what's wrong? You seem a little down," or and then I can tell you if I want to tell you, or you can just bring, "Hey, how you doing, babe? Woo, woo. Oh, you're not cooking today. You want me to handle it, whatever." They'll be like, "Oh, you missed your day." And then see that kind of attack, it puts a man on defense already. See, women don't understand that. Men will get on the defense. When men get on the defense, it's not just because we're hiding something. We feel like we're being attacked. You're not going to get a good result attacking us. Whether you have a point or not have a point. You have a point. See, women feel like if they have valid reasons, then it's okay. Like, no, nobody likes to feel attacked. Like, so don't start off asking questions when you already have an answer for you. It's like a test. Like, what are you testing me for? Like who? Like who is Cherie? Well, you know who Cherie is because you went through my phone. So do you? What are we really talking about here? You know what I mean? Do you really want to talk about it and know who she is, even though she's my play mama at work? Makes you feel crunchy. But now by you starting, who is that? Now it's like, what the fuck? Like, what do you know what I mean? And that already makes it wrong because it's attack. Even though you think that you have a valid statement, but it's like I say, it's my play mom at work. You don't even know that. But if you just be like, hey, this girl, what's her name? Your phone kept going off when you was in the shower. What's going on with that? Oh, that's my play mom at work. We supposed to be orchestrating this thing for the assembly. Boom! But if you attack, I'm gonna be like, I ain't answering to you, even though it's not even a big deal. You see? So
Mhm.
that's my last one. What you got?
Gosh, this is so much fun. I'm really enjoying this conversation. I would say the last reason why women are single is because they don't know how to appropriately use female leverage. Meaning, you have to be worth something in order to wield leverage against a man. Because it's true, there is this idea about unconditional femininity. And I can agree with that. I think women should lead with femininity. And if a man takes it for granted, then you should pull it back. But you have to feel safe and secure in order to be feminine in the first place. So a lot of women, they won't showcase any femininity at all, not knowing, well, honey, you don't actually bring much to the table. You might want to bring that forward and put your best foot forward. That's one thing. Women are not humbled at all. They have this elevated sense of self. I think it's called hubris, because I've had girlfriends DM me telling me that they're tired of hearing that men are the prize. And I'm looking at them like, well, I mean, you are not in demand at all, and so I wouldn't call you a prize either, sis. And that's not to be rude. It's just to humble these women so they know that you don't really have a whole leverage right now. And so, what can you do if you don't have leverage? What you can do is become a higher quality woman so that you get access to higher quality men. And once you do have leverage, you don't have to be vindictive about it, but there are certain asks that you can make in the dating market in your relationship. There's things that I can ask for my husband because I'm a quality woman. There's also things that he can ask for me that, because sometimes you do want a little bit extra from your partner. And so we get to do that vice versa because we're asking for things from an authentic place, and also we're not taking each other for granted, and we're always constantly trying to improve ourselves. That is my perspective on female leverage. It works if you work it, but if you're not in demand at all by the men that you want, then you don't actually have leverage. It's all convoluted and made up in your mind.
That's excellent. See, I said this on my last video I did. I know when I'm having a problem communicating with a woman, it's her, it ain't me. Because look at this. I'm actually to the minute or how much I said, to the minute almost of how long I said this was going to take. I don't have problems
Mhm.
communicating. I gotta be not accountable on this one. Like, no, I talk for a living, man. It's you. I only got a problem with you. Why is it? Because we have sex? Is that the line? The sex makes the community? Because any other time, I can communicate with people from all nationalities, across the world, ages. But the one I'm having sex with is a wall here. I don't know. Yeah. But hey, well, this is what I want to do. We talked about everything wrong. Let's give them maybe 3 tips right. What just for women, man, period. What can like they do to really take a step forward? And I'll start with mine, just give you a feel of what I'm saying. So, like for me, the biggest thing that women can do to really catch a man is make him, and I don't mean it in a manipulative way, like to trick, but men want to be heard, and we want to feel like someone that a person we with is we can trust them. I remember the time that I was in love the most when I unpacked it, because every time I go through a situation, I look at the goods, pros, cons, bads, or whatever, and I realized, damn, how did I fall for her? It's because I trusted her. I trusted her. That's why. There have been girls that were hotter, better sex, and all of that, but this particular one made me feel like I could trust her, and that's what made me take the wall down. So I say, make the man feel trust. However you can do that, you can trust. You can make a man trust you by uh, him giving you $100 back, and you give him $150 back. You'd be like, "Whoa, what's this extra one for your haircut, daddy?" Stuff like that. See, that sets you apart from other chicks that's nagging and why I want this, and you ain't took me somewhere in 3 weeks. I can't post date nights on my Instagram because of you. Like, it's not it. So that's the first way, is make the man feel trusted. The second thing is really be his biggest cheerleader. I shouldn't be able to get more motivation and more props and better ideas from random people in the street when I lay up with you every single night. That should be added to you. If I can't get that from you, I might as well be with them. Because it's like gas to the car. The motivation, the ideas, the positive energy is supposed to come from within and come from my partner. Relationships is more than just dates on the weekend and sex. And that's kind of what they end up being a lot of times. The third thing that I say, travel together. When you travel with your woman, you guys plan together, you see new things together, you try new food together, you have bad experiences together, but it makes you bond together. Bars! Dating coach of the year, where my plaques at? So where's your 3 at?
Oh man. So the first one, I would say just be an asset to a man's life. You want to be an asset, not a liability. And a lot of women don't even know when they are a liability. Mental instability is a huge liability for a man to take on because it calls your character into question. And when he has to call into your character into question, it can lead to mistrust, like you were saying earlier, earn a man's trust. If he can't trust you to mean what you say and do what you say you're going to do, you don't know what kind of deception scenarios are running through his mind. He might even think that you're the kind of woman who's going to try to trap him, i.e., saying you're on birth control when you're not. So you just want to be an asset, and ways that you can be an asset is just make his life easier. And women are lately, in my communications with them, they're getting stuck on, well, how feminine is too feminine? How do you know when you're doing too much? If you're just dating, then you can do 3 to 4 feminine acts a week, which is just you going out of your way for him. Maybe it's, oh, you want me to take this to dry cleaners? Okay, I'm going to go do that for you. Or maybe you want to pick him up some groceries. Maybe you want to invite him over to your apartment to cook dinner and then send him on his way. Newsflash, women, you actually don't have to sleep with him when you do that. I mean, you can if you would like, but remember, like, you set your own precedent there. So that is how women can be an asset in a man's life when they are just starting out in the dating space of it all, and then it should just come second nature as you get further in the relationship. My goodness, there's so many other things. I would say to not simp over a man, and a lot of people don't think that that is something that women do, but it's when a woman overshoots her shot out of her league, where she's trying to appease this Chad, and the Chad's never going to settle down. It's just not in the cards for him at the moment. He's trying to do other things with his life. But you'll see women, oh my gosh, they will plan the date. They'll bring the food, they'll plan a picnic, go on a hike, bring all the supplies, bring him all these gifts, like taking out the man almost as if he was a woman. They don't afford him the opportunity to be masculine. So I've seen that happen a time or two, and that's a problem, I think, with Western women, because you won't really see that with Eastern European women, and we're thinking like Russian on that side of things. That's just not how they operate, how they move. They let their bodies and their demeanors speak for themselves and kind of leave it at that. And I want to say, what would the last thing be? I might need some time to digest it. I just had it on the tip of my tongue.
I'll add one while you think about it. This is some extra credit game for you guys. Well, actually for women. This is extra game for women and for men to have standards for the women. Women need to learn how to do things for men without men asking. It's powerful. Women don't understand how much power that is. Yes, you cook every day. You wash my dogs, you wash my clothes, you fold my towels, but after a certain amount of time, if I have to ask or tell, even the fact that you do it loses its value, because I'm gonna expect you to know what's my favorite color, what's my favorite food, what do I like to, you know what I mean? Even sex. I know if I come home and I make out with you and kiss you on the ear first and go on the neck, French kiss you, rub on your breast, do all of that, I know that we're gonna have sex. But sometimes men don't want to go through those steps. Sometimes just take it from me. Sometimes just surprise me, and that'll be like, oh, well, whoa. Sometimes we want whoa. So like women will get it mixed up, and they feel like just because they're honoring their man's needs, they're missing the whole point of the initiative part.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I would definitely agree. You and my husband are on the same page. You guys should talk sometime. So I want to say my last thing that women can do right, or men as well, is just be upfront with your desires for the outcome of the relationship. If your desire is a one night stand, then just say so. If your desire is, hey, I do not date without intent. When I am dating, it is often me vetting someone for marriage. Let a guy know up front, but women, you have to be honest about it too, because sometimes we'll say what we want differently because you told us what you wanted first. You said you wanted it to be casual. I know inside that I want a marriage one day, but what am I going to do because I'm over the moon for you and absolutely foolish? I'm going to throw that out the window, and I'm going to tell you, the man, that I want it casual too, even though that is not true. So women just need to be upfront. The worst thing he can say is no, but wouldn't you rather find out right then and there versus like 5 years down the road?
You know what? I'm gonna ask your advice offline, because one of my downfalls is I always end up in relationships that I didn't ask to be in. We'll talk.
You're getting trapped out here.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna let you just end the show. Tell them where they can find you, what to expect from you, what you got coming up. I'm gonna put the camera all on you. Say your last words.
Alrighty, well, I am Allie Drummond at Real Femme Sapien on Instagram and on YouTube. I'm trying to grow my YouTube platform a little bit more. I do one-on-ones with women. I do not coach men because I am not a man, so I can't really help you in that department. So if that's something that you're looking for, you can shoot me an email over at allie@realfemmesapien.com. I am happy to help out and translate some of these things, because in our minds as women, men are very complicated. They're actually not. Oftentimes they say what they mean at face value, unless you had the unfortunate displeasure of running into a lover boy, which is kind of a little bit on you if it's your third lover boy of the year. You know what I mean? Maybe it's on you, sis. But that is all I have. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Good. See, we getting phone calls right now. All right, so make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you guys share this video for Rose. Share it for him. I love him. Y'all like the video, y'all share the video. And I want you guys to put some comments in the comment section. Let us know what resonated with you guys the most, what's reasons. And then also, we're a community. So leave your comments down there because see, just because me and her don't need your help, you may be helping somebody else in the comment section that may have that exact same situation. And you're just thinking that you're just venting and you're actually helping saving somebody's life. So the art of paying it forward. Y'all ain't seen that movie? Watch the movie Pay It Forward, and then you'll understand this talking point. Other than that, I appreciate you sliding through. You're always welcome. Anytime. Make sure y'all like and share again, and I'll put all your information in the in the comments and all of that. And y'all have a good day. Peace, peace.